Good morning. Since we're talking about veterinarians this week, I wanted to read you a fun story about pets. And this is Curious George Walks the Pets. So here we go. I think all of you have probably seen Curious George before. And he's a little monkey that sometimes gets himself into trouble. George was looking out the window. A neighbor, Mr. Nelson, was walking his dog, Andy. Well, George was curious. What would it be like to walk a pet? Once Mr. Nelson and his dog were back home, George went over to their house and rang the doorbell. Mr. Nelson didn't answer it, but the door was open, so George went in. Uh-oh, do you think that's a good idea? Should you go into the house if someone doesn't come open the door for you? Inside, George discovered Mr. Nelson's other pets. Besides Andy, his dog, he had a cat. Look, she's laying on the chair. Oh, he had a canary in a cage and a goldfish in a bowl. Could George take all of them for a walk? He tried to put a leash on the cat, but she ran away. Next, George opened the bird cage. Oh, that's not a good idea. The bird flew away. The cat jumped after the bird. The bird flew around in circles. Andy, the dog, chased the cat, and the goldfish splashed in its bowl. What excitement! I think George is getting himself into trouble. Suddenly, Mr. Nelson rushed in. "What's going on?" he yelled. George was scared. Uh-oh, look at his face. That looks like a scared face. I think the kitty cat has a scared face too. He dropped the leash and ran away. Mr. Nelson calmed down his pets and put the bird back in its cage. After Mr. Nelson left the room, George came back. He was sure that the pets would all like to go for a walk. Do you think Mr. Nelson will trust him to take his pets for a walk now? Let's see. But George has an idea. He ran back home and got his little red wagon. He pulled it over to Mr. Nelson's house. And then he put the bird cage and goldfish bowl in the wagon. I didn't see him ask Mr. Nelson for permission. Do you think he did? Then George hooked the leash to Andy's collar and tied the other end to the wagon. Andy could help him pull. Finally, they were ready, and off they went. Now George was walking all the pets down the street. Andy pulled the wagon, and the cat followed behind. Mrs. James' dog ran out and trotted behind the cat. Then Mary O'Brien's cat fell in line too. Let's see, how many pets does he have now? Let's see, Andy the dog is in front. 1, the goldfish is 2, the canary is 3, the cat 4, the other dog 5, and the other cat 6. 6 pets. But soon all the pets in the neighborhood were following George. What a terrific parade! But look, the neighbors didn't think so. Stop! Stop! They shouted angrily. What are you doing with our pets? Bring them back! George was scared. What could he do now? Wait, wait, called Mrs. James. Don't be angry. George can be our pet walker. Gee, that's right, said Mary O'Brien. George is doing a good job, too, said Mr. Nelson. The pets are really behaving now. A pet walker will save me a lot of time, said Mr. Klein. Just then, the man with the yellow hat came running over. Hold still, everybody, he said. I want to take your picture. Smile! Look, they all look happy now. All the animals are happy. George is really happy. And all the pet parents are happy because now they have a pet walker. The end.